Good day. I'm Sean Adekunle, and I'm here to talk about my capstone research project, the development of a smart outlet-based system for appliance identification. I conducted my research under the mentorship of Dr. Simon Silvestri at the University of Kentucky, Department of Computer Science. An overview of what I'll talk about in this presentation. I'll first of all introduce the background behind the research, the goal of my research project, materials and methods that I employed, and I'll talk about the results I obtained, and my conclusion based on those results, and then I will finish with my next steps going forward. There's projected to be a 50% increase in water energy usage in the coming years. Buildings and homes make up a significant portion of the energy usage. And with smart homes, you can monitor energy use can be monitored and controlled by users, construction companies, and car power companies. Smart outlet-based systems can be a cost-effective way for the energy to be monitored and controlled. Users can perform energy-saving actions on building construction companies and power companies can create energy consumption profiles for the devices and use that to inform the actions. My goal starting this project was to construct a system that will identify in real time the device plugged into the outlet. Material that I used. For the hardware, I used the Arduino Mega 2560 REST board, the Diagonal UO-Shield, which gives the outlet its wireless capabilities, the ACS712 current sensor, and the SV relay switch. I also had the 6 electronic appliances that I collected the data from, and Android devices that I used to test the app that I built. That I'll talk about. I'll talk about that also later. But the software side of things, I wrote the code to control the outlet using Arduino IDE and C++. Also built the Flask library using Python, and I implemented the machine learning classifiers using the scikit-learn libraries. For data structure manipulation, I used the NumPy and Pandas library. I used the MySQL.connect library to connect the server to the MySQL database on table that I built. And I use the JSON data format to transfer data between the different components. To build the Android app, I use the Java language and I utilize the retrofit library, which allows for custom HTTP endpoints, while I use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to build the front end of the server. This diagram is showing the hardware of the outlet. You can see how the different components were connected together, and especially the Wi-Fi portion, which allows for the data to be transmitted from the outlet to the server, which is the basic foundation of the entire system. This is a simplified overview of the entire system. You can see the data packet that have been transferred between the different components, all enclosed within a home network. If you look at the right-hand part of the screen, you can see all labels. All labels are data that is being sent from the server to the device. And this allows for a much more better labeling system, because if the user, after the user types in something, to make the process easy, a list of all of the labels that have been entered so far is sent to the user, and this show up as an autocomplete feature in the app, and this allows for easier labeling of the data. But the very bit I was looking at in this project, we have the appliances which are shown here. For the lamp, I had the Maestlin LED Dex lamp. For the fan, the Lasco fan. For the speaker, the Amazon Echo Dot. The heater, the Utility Tech Electric Space heater. The printer, the Epson XP340, and the tablet, the Samsung Galaxy Tab A. I was also looking at the on the dependent variable side of things, the classifier accuracy and the dataset features. I was looking at 2 classifiers for this project, which are these were the most accurate classifiers based on a previous experiment that was conducted earlier, using a much more manual form of this system. For the first classifier was the decision tree classifier, which predicts the value of our target variable by learning rules from the data. So it figured out that certain data with certain features belong to a certain class, and so it uses the rules it asks for prediction. The second classifier that I used, the KNN classifier, the K-enabled classifier, implements learning by looking at the K nearest neighbors of a certain point, and it looks at the features of the surrounding data points and uses that for classification. The distance formula that was used that I employed for this classifier was a Minkowski distance formula. So I first, for my methods, I first collected data and analyzed the data. They deployed the model to the server. The data points were wirelessly received from the outlet every 1 second. And after 10 seconds, we had a data set of size 10. And so once we had a data set that was size 10, the features are calculated from it. And if the label was entered from the app, the label and the features were saved into the data table. And this process repeats continuously. If the label was not entered on the app, then the data set and the feature is emptied. So the data set is emptied and the process repeats continuously. And I ensured that an equal amount of data was collected from each device. Once I was done with that, I processed the data. That involved removing null values and encoding the labels, which means that the string labels were converted to numerical format that the machine learning classifiers can understand. I then feed the classifiers with feature and encoded labels, and I performed a k-fold cross validation for each classifier. Once I was done with that, I used the random search sieve and grid search sieve to optimize the classifier. Once I was done with that, I then compared the results, and then performed the k-fold cross validation, and compared that to the earlier k-fold cross validation. And then once the classifier accuracy has increased, I deployed it to the server, and the classifiers had the ability to predict from data in real time. And the prediction was able to be decoded and can be retrieved using a REST API endpoint by any Ethernet-capable device. And if the prediction changes, then there's an asynchronous update in the web and Android app. The addition of new data will also return the deployed classifier, and then will not be the returned classifier will not be deployed live. This table shows a summary of the statistical features for each class. You can see the lamp at the lowest and the eta as the highest. This is the graph that shows the results of the cross validation on the data divided by classes. You can see that overall the KNN classifier had the best results. But if you look at the results of the k-fold cross validation on the entire data set, you can see that the DT classifier had a higher result with an accuracy of 12.82%, where the KNN had an accuracy of 71.42%. And I'll go over why this occurred in the future. In conclusion, I demonstrated that a scalable and cost-effective system can be built. And when I mean cost-effective, I mean that the components can be easily obtained. All the software were all free and open source, and the hardware can be purchased for a very small amount of money online. So this system can be easily built and deployed anywhere in the world. And when I mention scalable, I mean that the multiple clients and outlets can be easily added. And I'll go over how this is possible in the future. Appliances can also be identified with reasonable accuracy. The k-fold cross validation was evidence supporting this claim. And I also tested out the system live, and I can say that the appliances can be identified with reasonable accuracy. The outlet can also be turned on or off to conserve energy. The DT classifier was the most accurate classifier for the overall data set, while the KNN classifier was the most accurate classifier when the data was divided by class. And the reason why was that when looking at a much more large and diverse data set, the DT was able to infer rules that the KNN simply could not, because of the data sets were not grouped based on features they had in common. When the data was grouped by features they had in common, the KNN was able to perform much more better than the decision tree classifier. In the future, I want to improve the accuracy of the classifier. So that will involve getting more data and also adding more devices and getting data from those devices also. I also want to look at how the label type will affect the accuracy, whether having long labels or short labels will affect the accuracy of the classifier. I'll probably implement a much more robust labeling page that will allow for multiple options. So you can type out the full name of a device. You can also type out the category that the device belongs to, so that the manufacturer and other information that will help the classifiers to be much more accurate. I also want to reduce the wireless latency between the components. When I tested out this system, I experienced a maximum latency of about 1.5 seconds. I want the system to perform at an optimal level, regardless of the wireless systems that are deployed in. So that will involve our dealing with packet queuing technologies and socket technologies, and just finding ways to adapt to the different wireless speeds that are available out in the world. I also want to automate hyperparameter optimization. So when I was working on this project, when I was working on the optimization part of this project, I had to do some manual work. But in the future, if I want the system to perform independently and as an agile and robust system, the optimization has to be done automatically. I want to work on implementing that also. I also want to implement a time-based scheduler that will allow the users to define rules. For example, that a lamp will be turned off during the from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and can be turned on from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And once those rules have been defined by the users, the classifiers can then automatically turn the outlet on or off based on those rules. Lastly, I want to deploy the server to production. This will allow for multiple outlets to be connected simultaneously. Going back to when I mentioned that the server was scalable, deploying the server will allow the server to scale up and allow for the machine learning classifiers to be trained much more quickly and much more faster. So allow for much more data to be handled from different sources, because of the calculations can be broken down into small bits and run at the same time in parallel. I want to thank Dr. Simon Silvestri for being my mentor and taking me under his wing. I also want to thank Ate Kembisi and Eriro Shin for giving me information and helping me get started. I'd like to thank my parents for their support at the Kentucky Young Researchers Program at the Math Science and Technology Center at Dunbar. If you have any questions, you can contact me at the email listed here, olowashow.adekole@stu.variety.kyschool.us. Thank you.